Friday, October 11th, 2024, 6:24 a.m.
Why do you love Southwest Florida?
Going to the beach, sitting by the campfire, going out on the boat.
Us too. Thanks for making us your playlist while you're living your best life ever.
96.9 Wink FM.
Aren't you something to admire?
Fort Myers, Cape Coral, Bonita Springs.
What's going on in your world? Now it's Logan and Sadie's Pop Crunch.
Good morning, 6:34 from Wink News, the Weather Authority. Isolated showers, a little bit less humid today. We'll take that with a high of 86, and cold front arrives next week. Just a little heads up on that.
Thank goodness.
As of late last night, at least 14 people have died from Hurricane Milton in Florida. The death toll includes 6 people who died in St. Lucie County after 12 tornadoes hit the county over a 90-minute period Wednesday afternoon. And there were over 116 tornadoes spawned by Milton throughout the state. And that was just crazy. At one point, I mean, it was just going off left and right, the alerts that we got. And it was great that we had Wink News stop their 3X to really zoom in over our neighborhoods of Southwest Florida.
Yeah, I actually had several friends who tornadoes touched their houses off McGregor. Ugh. Well, Lee County Sheriff's Office is crediting people with being prepared and evacuating with fewer rescues needed during and after the storm. The day after Hurricane Milton made landfall, there were only about 500 calls for service. Significant decrease from Hurricane Ian, where they had over 6,000. So that's awesome.
People know now.
I think we know now.
Yeah, City of Bonita Springs, they put a curfew in place for Bonita Beach while crews worked to clear the sand and other debris from the streets. I could believe how much sand was on the streets. Right? I'm like, that's...
And I feel like they just cleaned it up after the last one.
That curfew, by the way, will be in place until further notice from the city, and homeowners are still allowed, obviously, inside their homes. Sanibel and Charlotte County also have a curfew from 9 p to 6 a.
Yeah. Well, the Gulf Coast Humane Society needs some help. So if you have some sheets and towels to spare, they are open from 9 until 5 today. And some stores are reopening today. Publix is going to open up at 7 a.m. To 7 p.m. If you probably need some supplies. Sunshine Ace Hardware is going to open at 7, Target at 8, and Sam's Club at 10.
I think Costco as well.
Doggone it.
RSW will reopen this morning. Flights resuming at 9 a.m. TSA checkpoints will be available starting at 7:30. So a lot of people in Southwest Florida still do not have power. Over 192,000 in Lee County, 71,000 in Collier, 51,000 in Charlotte. And, of course, many of us in Collier, they do have power and are getting the flickering and the spotty internet service as they reconnect more people online.
Over the past couple days, we noticed that we had power, but literally the next street over didn't. It's crazy. So when will schools reopen? Not sure yet. Lee County School District says they'll provide updates at 5 p.m. today and throughout the weekend. Most likely, they're probably going to open up on Monday. Now, Disney World and other Orlando amusement parks have reopened today, so if you want to get out and I guess have some fun, do it. But keep in mind, Busch Gardens in Tampa has yet to reopen.
Well, if Disney can reopen, we are moving forward with Milton. Master Clip Theater is coming up next, the $50 gift card to Rib City. So you can finally, when all this is done and you can go out and have a nice meal at Rib City.
Sounds really good, actually.
All right, that's coming up. Just a few minutes. There's your Pop Crunch. Logan and Sadie in the morning on 96.9 Wink FM.
First, fair everywhere. This is a Wink traffic update.
Good morning, Southwest Florida. It's looking good out on I-75 to start your Friday morning. Of course, school is not in session for most kids this morning, so that's going to help our traffic. Starting your day, we're not seeing any speeds below the 70s. They're averaging out in the low to mid 70s north and southbound in Lee County right now. I do expect some light traffic later on, but right now you're in the clear. If you're traveling across Alligator Alley this morning in either direction, because I know some folks are coming back into town after evacuating, it is all clear. Same story if you're headed south from far north community, I-4 and I-75 looking good going south through Venice back in here to Southwest Florida. That's your up-to-the-minute traffic. I'm Rachel Cox-Rosen, Wink News.
Have you been curious? Have you been to SchneiderCenter.com?
ElevateMyHome.com. Naples,
Marco Island,
North Fort Myers,
96.9 Wink FM.
For a while there it was rough. These beautiful things that I've got.
You've seen it. You've heard it.
relive it in Logan and Sadie's Master Clip Theater
on on 96.9 Wink FM.
Yes, it's one of our favorite movies, inspired by Sadie's Hurricane Party. I understand this was on.
Yeah, so we're, I guess it was Wednesday night. We're sitting there with the fam trying to figure out something to watch, and they're scanning through. I'm like, oh, Bridesmaids is funny. Put it on. I just might have.
Sadie. Okay, for those of you who don't know what the name of this movie is.
Things are gone. What are you doing? It's coming out of me like lava. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. It happened. Don't you dare ruin that dress.
So I haven't gotten a lot of sleep in the past few days, and I apologize.
Well, you could win a $50 gift card to Rib City. Rib City celebrating 35 years of real barbecue and great ribs. 239-3340-969. In case you don't know what it is, Sadie just told you.
I blurted. I'm going to also give some hints, though.
No, you're
Melissa
not.
McCarthy. There's lava.
All right, basically, just call us right now and get your $50 gift card to Rib City. 239-3340-969. What's the name of that movie? 96.9 Wink FM.
You've seen it. You've heard it.
Relive it in Logan and Sadie's Master Clip Theater.
On 96.9 Wink FM.
Yes, you've heard Sadie blurt the answer to this movie clip.
Things are gone. What are you doing? It's coming out of me like lava. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. It happened.
It
Don't
happened.
you dare ruin that dress.
It definitely happened.
Good morning, Heather and Lehigh Acres. So well, that has to be.
Bridesmaid.
Good job.
Did you know without the Sadie blurt?
I did. It's one of my daughter's favorite movies.
Yeah.
It's such a funny movie.
And of course, it was on for Sadie's Hurricane Party.
We all sat around, watched it, cracking up.
And Sadie texted me during it, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, lava."
It's a good one.
So, how did you do with the storm?
We're in LaBelle, and we did pretty good.
Okay, good.
Good for
I'm
you.
glad to hear that.
We're glad it's over, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, maybe we can relax a little bit this weekend.
Well, enjoy your ribs. You got a $50 gift card to Rib City. Rib City celebrating 35 years of real barbecue and great ribs, okay? And no one deserves good ribs as much as you.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I agree with you.
That sounds really good.
I know. Go for some ribs right now.
City. I know.
All right, it's Logan and Sadie in the morning.
First, fair everywhere. This is a Wink traffic update.
Good morning, Southwest Florida. It's looking good out on I-75 to Milton. It will be operating from 7 this morning till 5 tonight, 7 days a week. All patients are welcome. I'm Lindsay Sablon with Wink News, the Weather Authority.
What's the Anna Jar Levine difference? Offers not combined. Expires with that.
WINK-FM, Fort Myers.
Best mix, 80s,
90s.
2K and today, 96.9.
Wink FM.
I feel by the wayside.
96.9 Wink FM.
Best mix, 80s, 90s, 2K, and today's hits you need to know.
Here's Die With a Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno.
I just woke up from a dream. I wanna be next to you.
96.9 Wink FM. It's Logan and Sadie in the morning. Wink News meteorologist Zach Balak.
You get a standing ovation, man. You did a lot of work. Thank you.
I'll stay sitting, guys.
Okay.
I appreciate that, though.
He's too tired to stand up.
I get it. You were on air a lot, keeping people safe, so thank you for that.
The whole team was anchors, even the engineers who were here through the entire storm. And thankfully, 96.9 was simulcasting our coverage.
Yes.
You guys are at home watching attentively, I know.
Oh, yes, we were.
We definitely
Glued to your screen, taking notes.
The tornado alerts, Wink Doppler 3X was tremendous in helping with that.
The tornadoes, just because we had, Lindsay asked a question on TV yesterday morning, and she said, what was your biggest surprise? And I kind of forgot about the tornadoes with everything else that happened after that. But when she brought up to that, my biggest surprise was how many tornadoes we had. And I said, oh my gosh. So we did another breakout. Kind of highlighting, I think we had 94 tornado warnings in all of Florida between Tampa Bay and the Miami and the Melbourne National Weather Service offices. All those National Weather Service offices are what issue those tornado warnings.
Is that a record?
Yeah, it was a record for Miami. For sure. And then a record for me, I only caught a tornado one time on camera when I was working as a meteorologist in Fayetteville, Arkansas. And to catch one of them going off of I-75 in the alley. Thankfully, that wasn't doing anything, but we had that live tornado on cover on our cameras. FDOT did a great job tracking that. And then we have a camera in Lakeport in between Clewiston and Lakeport on the western side of the Lake Okeechobee. And I saw that one.
That was crazy.
That was the monster wedge, right?
That was the monster wedge one that was, I don't know how large it was. Thankfully, it passed west of downtown Clewiston, passed east of Moorhaven. I know it impacted in Lakeport in some way, shape, or form. But when I saw that from our camera, I was like, there it is. So it's a kid. And then we had the one in Matlacha with Chief Meteorologist Matt Devin and I talking about. We saw the Matlacha camera and we said it's heading right towards it, and it passed directly over Matlacha.
That's crazy.
But overall, with the storm, I mean, there's the surge that we expected.
Yep.
The inland winds, I know in Naples, man, it was howling pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
60, 70 miles an hour?
Yeah, 60 to 65 across most areas. And that's exactly what we thought for the winds. When we forecast the wind, that always gets hard to nail because you're like, okay, how far away are those winds actually going to be? But I think the highest wind was about 90 miles an hour in Sarasota, those gusts. And then even into Venice, had like 89. Punta Gorda had one at 85 at the airport there. So definitely, I think it was 79 at the airport there. So we definitely had those higher gusts as we expected, closer to the center of the storm, but at least that was good. And I think the surge levels were on point for Fort Myers and in Collier, and they were actually a little bit below the surge estimates for Charlotte County from what we've seen so far. Of course, some people up there did have more than what they had with Helene. We always said that would be the case for them, and that was the case, but I don't think it was that full 8 to 12 feet that we were forecasting.
In terms of the rainfall amounts, Sadie and I were talking about how the squalls, the bands, they were ferocious when they came, but there's not the rain wasn't a lot compared to other tropical storms that we've had.
The biggest band was the one that was producing those tornadoes. It was the first cells ahead of the band, and then really that one band that was Wednesday afternoon was the only one. And then we had some lingering additional light ones, but that was the effect of the wind shear. When we said, hey, Milton would be weakening on its approach, it made landfall as a Category 3, 120-mile-per-hour hurricane at Siesta Key at 9 p.m. Wednesday evening. And so the wind shear was allowing this to weaken, and that also brings in dry air on the west side of the storm and the back side of the storm, so it dried everything up.
Yeah,
so
that was
we had the surge and it was dry, and we had the high winds and the gusts, but it was mainly dry besides some light showers. But really Wednesday afternoon, that was the worst of the rain.
Right.
And we knew it wasn't going to be the biggest rainmaker. The biggest thing we were tracking were the winds inland for everyone, and then the surge, of course, along the coast for everyone too.
Man, well, thank you for staying up so much and getting us safe. And
I slept 13 hours yesterday, guys.
And you probably need more.
I was up from 6 p.m. Wednesday until 1 p.m. yesterday. I was here at Wink when the surge came in and the studio was flooding, so I was helping all of our managers. Matt, Chief Meteorologist Matt Devitt was staying on TV, and I'm like, Matt, you need anything? He goes, nope, good. I was making graphics for him, and he'd ask me some questions. Like, I don't even have a mic on right now, but we'd be talking.
Yeah.
And
I love it. And you used our studio as your temporary.
Yeah, we were in the newsroom. I tried to lay down here in the 96.9 Wink FM studio on the nice hard carpet floor.
At least
I like how he feels at home in our studio.
Yes,
that's
nice. As he should.
That was my quiet place. Yes. I came here. I sat here in front of the microphone. I'm like, I'm not talking to anybody right now.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I think we'll do maybe like a recap in Zach's Facts and just a breakdown of the weekend forecast. Talk a little bit more about the crazy shift we had. But thankfully, even though it was a direct landfalling hurricane that went north of us for once, we'll break that down. The impacts were high north of us, but I think when we were tracking this once a Category 5 nearby, it wasn't as bad as what could have come our way for sure.
Really quickly here. Thursday morning, I almost texted you. I said, I'm not going to. It just seemed, you had said, behind this, we're ushering it. It's ushering in a cold front. I heard you use ushering in a cold front.
I tried to say ushering, and then I said issuing a few times, and then my brain went, I don't even know what you're trying to say anymore. What day is it? What month is it?
Right.
It's been a long week.
When's our next cold front coming? Right. That was it. Yeah.
All right, so a little mini recap coming up on the Zach's Facts. It's 7:17, Logan and Sadie in the morning.
First, fair everywhere. This is a Wink traffic update.
Good morning, Southwest Florida. It's looking good out on I-75 to start your Friday morning.
Negative equity refinance offers don't combine.